Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and hope you're keeping well. I've been a bit quiet for the last few days as there were so many good games released lately that I actually wanted to take some time out to play some of them. Hope you've had a chance to do the same, and do let me know in the comments what games you've been playing and which ones stand out most for you. So, hot on the tails of Swordsman and budget cuts, last week saw the release of The Walking Dead Onslaught and Until You Fall, and just before the weekend we also got Star Wars Squadrons. The Walking Dead Onslaught came under a lot of fire for some strange game design choices such as the weapon balancing and the lack of difficulty, and the inevitable comparisons to Saints and Sinners didn't help it at all. Personally, I got some enjoyment from Onslaught, possibly because I'd seen some of the more critical opinions before I played it, so I went in with lowered expectations. And it's clear Servios were trying to approach the game from a different angle to Saints and Sinners, with their approach being a bit more straightforward, easy to pick up arcadey style, with less emphasis on the survival aspects. Having said that, it's certainly not perfect, and I can see where people had some complaints. Although the core game is what it is, there's certainly some aspects that could be improved via patches, and based on recent announcements it does seem Servios are keen to gather player feedback and do what they can to improve things where possible. If you haven't yet picked it up, then do check out the gameplay video on the channel, which covers the first hour of the game, and see if it's something you might enjoy. It'll be worth keeping an eye on it to see where Servios takes it in the coming weeks. Until You Fall fared better overall, with a more positive reception and good reviews. The neon-hued, synth-backed sword fighter from Shell Games is a very polished release with a lot of replayability due to its roguelike gameplay, with randomly generated enemies and power-ups, and nicely done player progression, which means even if you die you'll still be making progress each time, and gradually levelling up your skill and weapons. I've put a lot of time into this game already, as it's so easy to pick up and play for a quick session, but just as easy to lose yourself in it for a few hours due to the satisfying game loop and just one more go factor. Shell Games provided a great amount of ongoing support and development of one of their previous titles, I Expect You to Die, adding a variety of new levels and features post-launch, so hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of Until You Fall in the future, but even the game as it stands now is a worthwhile purchase and worth checking out. As with The Walking Dead Onslaught, if you haven't yet picked it up, you can find a video of the first hour of gameplay elsewhere on the channel to help you decide if it's a game for you. To top off the week, last Friday saw the much anticipated release of Star Wars Squadrons. This X-Wing vs TIE Fighter style space dogfighting Star Wars spin-off includes a single player campaign and 5v5 online multiplayer, with the multiplayer component supporting cross-platform play between PlayStation, Xbox and PC. The complete game is playable in both VR and flat screen, but was reportedly built from the ground up with VR in mind. Developed by Motive Studios and published by Electronic Arts, Star Wars Squadrons is a well-polished and quite substantial AAA game which offers up a single-player campaign of approximately 8 to 10 hours, and potentially unlimited replayability in the multiplayer modes. Now I've really enjoyed what I've played of the game so far, with the iconic ships, sound effects, character designs and stirring music making it really easy to realise those childhood dreams of becoming an X-Wing or TIE Fighter pilot in those epic space battles. True, there's a few stomach-lurching moments if you find yourself doing one too many barrel rolls, but there's also a few comfort options to help with that if you haven't quite got your VR legs yet. The fact that it supports flat screen, VR and cross-platform is definitely a big deal, as it means the online community is unlikely to dry up anytime soon, and it should be easy to get into an online game at any time. Okay, looking at updates now, and over the last few days we've seen a few updates to the recently released Swordsman, with developer Sin Studio working hard to add new features and improvements to the game. Notable updates include the option to disable the anti-aliasing for a sharper if slightly more pixelated picture, some balancing of weapons and bosses, and some improvements to the enemy physics and AI. Now the game may be a bit rough around the edges, but it can also be a lot of fun if you're after some physics-based sword action, and the developer's roadmap includes some nice potential new features which will hopefully be introduced in future updates. One of those coming up is a seasonal Halloween update which has been mentioned, which will include a new enemy type, so could this perhaps be our chance to fight some Ray Harryhausen style skeletons? Let's hope so. Moving on, today has finally seen the release of the Heartbreaker Trilogy update for pistolwhip, the rhythm action shooter from Cloudhead Games. This free DLC update was previously released on PC and it's now here for PSVR, adding 3 new scenes with new music, new water pistol based weapons and a distinctly summertime vibe. As an added bonus, it also brings a resolution bump for PS4 Pro consoles, making an already good looking game look even sharper. It also introduces a couple of new modifiers. The first of these is called Vengeance, which causes enemies to shoot back at you as soon as you hit them. And the other one, called Disorder, randomises the enemy types in each scene to mix things up a bit. All in all, a great update for the game. I'll be bringing you a playthrough of the new levels soon, and we've still got the Concierge update to look forward to, along with the pistolwhip 2089 action pack coming later in the year. Following on from that, while this week's not quite as hectic as the last couple of weeks for releases, we do still have a few other things to look forward to. As mentioned, the pistolwhip DLC is out now, and coming up on the 8th of October is the release of mortalblitz Combat Arena. This PvP online arena shooter was out as a limited beta trial a few weeks ago, and you can find some gameplay footage from that elsewhere on the channel. It's going to be free to play with optional purchases in game, so worth checking out, particularly if you have an aim controller, although it does support move controllers in DualShock 4 as well. We'll have to wait and see how popular this proves to be, to see how easy it is to get into an online match, as finding matches during the beta trial was a little bit hit and miss depending on the time of day. The developer, Skonek Entertainment, intends to offer seasonal updates to the game, so future seasons will bring new maps, weapons and game modes. Also, releasing next week, hopefully, will be the Beat Saber multiplayer update. This will bring the ability to play through songs at the same time as other players around the world, to see who comes out on top, and also introduces avatars to give your player a unique customisable look. Before we get too excited though, developer Beat Games has previously stated that although they're trying to bring the update to all platforms simultaneously, there may be a slight delay in bringing it to PlayStation, so let's wait and see what happens. Okay, that's all for this update. As always, if you found it helpful, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to catch the latest videos, and if you're on Twitter, follow PSVR Zest on there to keep up to date and get involved with the conversation. Bye for now.